NFL is back, and we are back for our Monday Morning Football Part 2. Pro Football Ireland, baby. Ireland's biggest American football podcast, Michael McQuaid. In Part 2, delighted to be joined with Mr. Conor Mangan, a guy that's flown, kicked the hand egg around a few times. Conor, Kajemar Tattoo, man. How you doing?
Oh, Tommy, come on. Tommy,
Oh.
absolutely brilliant at the moment after watching what an opening day. We'll call that the opening day because Thursday, bit of a preamble. This was the day. This was the day where everyone was texting each other screenshots and sending each other tweets, and everything was going nuts. Everyone's fancy teams were going off or absolutely tanking in week one. Just absolutely savage stuff. But Michael, sum it up for us, actually.
Oh God, you're putting me on the spot now. I'll just start off by saying presented by 888 Sport, the official betting partner of the NFL in Ireland and the UK. Props to everybody we met in the Woolshed earlier on. Thanks to Michaela for doing that live hit from the Woolshed in part one. If you haven't listened to that, it's on the podcast network now, but you'll have seen it on the video. I guess just first off, Conor, before we go into talking about the late window, is there anything from the early window that you would like to bring up? Because look, I think the general consensus for me anyway is slow start to the season. Like, there was some interesting games in the early window. We will talk about it in a wee second, but that late window just delivered. Like, what we witnessed there a few minutes ago was like, what the actual hell? But like, do you know what I mean? Like, but is there anything just with the first few games that you've seen or just want to mention so you have it on point at some point this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were texting back and forth there. Like some interesting stuff right off the bat was what happened to the Bengals. What happened to the Bengals of 6 months ago? But then again, you're like, well, Deshaun Watson may be back, so maybe that's what happened to the Bengals. A rainy day, just like a wet Tuesday evening in Cork or something that they were playing in, proper Ohio weather, Battle of Ohio. Turned out to not be a battle at all. Browns really kind of stepped up, and I thought they were class. And then a few exceptions. Then the Bucks, I think, came out and actually played. I don't think many people were expecting that. Taking a look at your predictions there, Pro Football Ireland's predictions, everyone had the Vikings in that game. All four people, including Bet 888. So there you go. Bucks winning at 2017. Ravens, I think, showed exactly why you have to respect the Ravens. They're just they can go out and do that. Lamar Jackson can go out and do that. All today with Odell Beckham Jr. Like, yeah, did everyone forget about that? I think they did. Just class. And then the Jags, kind of a little bit surprising to me. I think the Jags came into their own. Had a great running game, and then obviously they have Lawrence. Like, he was like talked about coming out of high school, being the first round draft pick. Didn't have a lot of chances. He only went through so many issues there with Urban Meyer and everything else, and they looked very competitive. And then the 49ers looked like, as we talked about last week with Michaela, they looked like they could be Super Bowl contenders right off the bat. Purdy's the real deal. Great kicker, Moody as well. Got rid of Robbie Gould. Everyone was like, why would you get rid of him? He's Mr. Consistent. They drafted Moody, and he had a perfect game. And then Christian McCaffrey was just his usual elegant, class, mobile self. So that's kind of my takeaway from those games. Was kind of that few upsets, but yeah, it wasn't until 6 minutes ago that everything started going tits up, and everything started going crazy in the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left in three games. It just went off. It went off.
It went off like Jared Goff, my man. Public acknowledgement and apologies for not having you on that graphic. We're working on it. I can't say any more than four people on it. I feel bad.
All good, all good.
However,
Budget constraints. Bet 885. Bet 888. Budget constraints.
shout out to our dear friends at It Is Sport, 18 plus be gamble aware. It is 6 a.m. in the morning for some people listening to this, so we will harp on from that. But yeah, it's funny
Yep.
to look at picks and hear picks. I'll find a way to get you onto that at some point, no doubt, and appreciate you being a part of this. Not just in terms of what you just said, like some fantastic analysis there. Like, let's quickly jump on this before we talk in some interesting games here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess first off, for people listening to this, Monday Morning Football is a recap of the Sunday, apart from Sunday Night Football. I think for too long people have been waiting for Irish, UK, whatever analysis until Monday evening because people have got jobs, yada yada yada. And I think it takes someone to grab it by the cojones and have it around the NFL crap style podcast for Monday morning. Now this is not crap, this is elite, so
It is,
it's
and
all
so
good.
it is 7:50 p.m. Eastern time. It's 4:50
This guy
p.m.
here,
Pacific time. It is 10 to 1 Irish time. That's when we're recording this right before Sunday Night Football. Just so everyone knows, and this is what we had just witnessed was mental. I don't know. Do you want to talk about Dolphins Chargers
I
just to
want to talk
get
about
right
that,
into it?
but I want to very quickly because we're not going to get time to talk about this. Talk about Dan Whelan. I want to give a shout out to his ma, Anne,
Yes,
who sent
Amy.
me sent me some pictures earlier on. Like Anne, like I shouldn't even say this, but like thank you very much because that like that's been quoted in like 4 or 5 different papers online tonight. Like, but I think it shows you the sort of people that they are. Like they're decent, down to earth people, but more so, you know, Dan making history tonight. 38 years it took for another Irish born player to be there. You obviously know Dan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what did you make of his performance as a guy in a similar position to yourself?
Very, very impressive. Now, what I'm quite happy with about Dan is, and I'm making sure his stats are the exact same. He didn't have another punt right before the end. He was very calm going into this. I actually texted him this morning, just good luck, little Irish message. Um, and he was very relaxed, very excited, and he just said, "I'm going out there to make Ireland proud. We're going to show them what the Irish can do." Which I love that. He knows exactly where he's coming from. I'm sure his parents are just electric with having watched him. Obviously sent on some pre-game footage from warming up, and he had a very, very consistent game. So if you didn't watch it because the other game didn't show electric, the Packers kind of blew out the Bears a little bit. He had 5 punts for 249 yards, averaging 49.8. Proper elite punting average in the NFL. The average is probably 42 or 44 for a season, so he averaged close to 50 with a 68-yard long, might add, Michael, a 68-yard long punt, which after the bomb did go for a touchback, but just shows you the power that he has. And then he was also dealing with Carlson, who's very new. They drafted Carlson, very good kicker. And he held for Carlson's 52-yarder. So then people don't know either. Punters typically do all the holding. Absolute perfect money hold, and Carlson nailed it. So him, the long snapper, and the kicker all gelled really, really well, and basically probably made Jordan Love's life a lot easier too, and getting in good position for your defense. So
I love it. I
well
love
done, Daniel Whelan. Well done, Daniel. Brilliant stuff.
Wheeling a boo, wheeling a boo. You should have screenshotted that text and put it up. Like, look what I got. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just for people that are like you'll have one lad wherever you are, if you're in Ballybrack or Ballymena, going, sure, that boy there was in Dublin. He didn't watch any of the second. Well, I'll have folks, that thanks to our good friends at Free Ireland and O2 UK across the border, that I watched Red Zone the whole way home. And when I say I watched Red Zone, I was driving like this. Now, obviously, we promote safe driving on this podcast, and
Yes, don't do that, please.
of course, my wife drove me back from Dublin. Of course, she did. So I seen everything apart from the first 5 minutes, I think, of the Packers game and the first 5 minutes of the Dolphins Chargers game. Got back home, um, coming up to like 4 or 5 minutes to go in the third of the Patriots Eagles game and the Dolphins Chargers game. Anyway, enough crap talk on my end. Let's get into this now.
Yeah.
Tua was 20 out of 45 for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sweet
What?
mother of Nazareth. What a game. The
Yeah,
lead
this isn't
changed like
this
six
is this
times in the
isn't
second
based.
half.
Yeah, this isn't like baseball averages. This isn't hitting a home run. This is a guy running 250 yards. This is a guy passing 466 yards. Unreal,
36,
unreal. And I mean,
34.
I think wasn't Tua pretty close to passing the all-time Miami single game passing record. I'm not sure if he
Yeah,
actually did or not, but he came extremely close actually doing it in the opening game of the season. So absolutely unreal. Now, bottle job specialists are the Dolphins and the Chargers, and they both did their best to try and lose this game / try to win this game. I thought, like we were texting back and forth right before the end. And it looked like the Chargers were going to win. He actually sent me a text like, Chargers are going to win. Chargers are going to win. They have this. They
Well,
have this.
the texts that we were sending were Miami, unbelievable. Bleep me. What a bleeping game. Chargers
I have
will
a
win
lot.
is what I said. I guess I'll say this like because like look, we're not going to do this game justice in 20 minutes. However, can I just say my 2 cents from both sides here? For me, first off, it's I think back to that game against the Baltimore Ravens last year where Tua was electric, and everyone thought, oh
Yeah,
my sweet Jesus, this team's going to be incredible. And I
yeah,
just hope that they get a season. They get the full whack and Tua can ball out because he deserves this. He's such a great player. That offense is unreal. But never mind the offense. The way the defense stood up to the Chargers at the end and stopped them. Vic Fangio was sitting like chilled AF, doesn't care less, sitting happy days. But then also, like Conor, like I think you've seen Herbert go off and that offense, especially go off for the Chargers, deflated. Like and the thing is, like people saying, "Oh, you're driving up the road from Dublin." I seen that Eckler run. I can't believe Eckler's record run in his career was only 55 yards, and he made it today. Like that was a hell of a performance in the Chargers. And any other game, they would have won it. So look, I get the whole choker thing, but this was two great teams, two superb performances, regardless of how many points they conceded. That's two teams that are going to go far in the AFC, and it shows you just how stacked the AFC is because one of these teams could miss out by not being a wild card team. And I just feel like,
yeah.
where do we go from here?
Well, I think Justin Herbert is just a pure competitor. He's kind of like what Baker Mayfield should be, I think. He's got that
Mm.
competitiveness of Baker Mayfield, that kind of grit, but then he's
He's
got
got
this
that
like
dog in
raw.
him.
I think he got the dog in him. Yeah, he does. He certainly does. But he's got this like he doesn't have that extrinsically cocky, confident, like I'm the best type of attitude I think Mayfield has sometimes. He's got it all together. And I mean, I don't think him or Tua are the ball jobs at all. It's those teams going back the last, like 5 seasons or so, they kind of have this bottly kind of record where like they go out in a game like this and like the Dolphins looked unbelievable, and then Chargers came back, and then you're kind of thinking, right, tight game, and kind of the Chargers should have probably won it in the end. Um, but Dolphins kind of came up big, and to your point, if the Dolphins can actually stay fit and healthy, like Tua and Hill in particular, like those tweets I was sending you were just amazing about Tua and Hill. Everyone's going off on them on Twitter, saying like this is the duo we really wanted. Is this a reason why Tyreek Hill left Kansas City, left Super Bowl champions, left Patrick Mahomes because he wanted to go to Tua. He wanted to go to Miami. He wanted to play in nice weather and wanted to play in games like this. I think and be the guy. And he certainly was today. Him and Tua brought it home for them. Yeah, I'll see. I'm interested to see how the Chargers respond to this and
Mm.
whether they overthink it, whether as you said, they're pissed coming off. So
Well,
we'll see.
good
We'll
news,
see if they.
Connor. They're playing the Titans, the Vikings, and the Raiders next, and the Cowboys. So they'll be grand. No?
They should be fine. Definitely win that last game anyway.
Oh. If you feel, folks, that it's 7 o'clock in the morning and you're not getting high end analysis, you should be because we are. We're trying our best. However, Jeff Reinbold's live every Monday night at approximately 9 p.m. or whenever Jeff can get his Zoom to work or whenever he can get his StreamYard to work. So there'll be more analysis on this tomorrow. Just a really, really enjoyable game, Connor. And I feel like we're not doing it justice by going into this, but I guess one thing I'll say about it before we move on is I'm a Broncos fan, and I seen River Craycraft. Like we never utilized him. The guy looks like an absolute world beater for the Dolphins. So I'll just go with that there. But they look so good, and you just hope that they're both in with a chance come week 18. Because I feel like a neutral fan deserves to see both these teams in the playoffs, whether that's a wild card or divisional round game. I'd love them to run it back. Time will tell. But if I'm the New England Patriots, and I'm looking at that Miami Dolphins team, never mind the Buffalo Bills, I'm terrified. Should we talk about the Patriots?
Yeah, I was just going to kind of bring them up. I mean, like that's who you got to get past. Like Mac Jones can Mac Jones go up against those and kind of like I don't think he can outplay Herbert or Tua. Just me thinking right now, me seeing what I saw today, they had a great chance. I mean, one of the tweets I think I sent you here was from Paul Conor. Like Jabril Peppers just hit Jalen Hurts like Bugs Bunny did to Monster to make him cough up the ball. Wow. And that was with I think about like 3.5 minutes to go. Patriots got the ball on like in their other half. It's a 5 point game. Mac Jones, let's see it. Bring it home, baby. Bring it home, baby. A minute later, I think it was a fumble recovery. Back in the Eagles' pocket. Game over. Game over.
I I think there's that, but I think there's also a couple of different elements, and it like I fully agree with what you're saying. Like I like when I was going back from
Well, I know
working
you called it. Well, let me get this. I know you said one of your predictions was you thought that the Patriots might win 5 games this year and Bill's gonna be out.
yeah,
Or did you
I
talk
think
about that
this
with
could be
Jeff?
Bill's
So
last year.
you think anything based on what happened today that's is that still in your
See,
mind or
this is where it's really difficult. I and this is where it's sometimes it can be difficult to do like an instant reaction podcast to this because for the first half of this
this is
game
what the people want though, Michael? Like we want
is
to
that
know
yeah.
what you think right
Oh,
now.
well, okay. Well, the genuine opinion for me would be that I'm going to get hated on here, but like they were 16 zip down, and they looked dog awful. And well, and like look, there's many factors in that. There was the weather for a start. There was the fact that Patriots, even with the final score being 25-20, have no run game whatsoever. Like Ezekiel Elliott, 29 yards on the day. I think he almost fumbled one as well. Stevenson, look, that game to me, in my opinion, the biggest storyline for me in that game is how the hell did the Eagles not pull away, and how the hell did they find a way to keep letting New England get back into it? And I think the biggest test for me, Conor, is of the Patriots when they were given like two opportunities in the fourth quarter to get that ball back and to get down the field, and they couldn't do it. And I think while Mac Jones tries his best with what he has around him, I look, I was impressed with Kendrick Bourne, especially the two grabs that he got in the end zone. But outside of that, and outside of Stevenson and Henry, who else have they got? Like that Eagles team is stacked, and they're going to be there come the end
Yeah.
of the year. But I just don't feel like the Patriots are of the level required, especially, and this is unfortunate for them, especially in the division that they're in. They don't have the time now to try and see what works, and it just sort of confuses me as to how somebody as legendary as Bill Belichick can sit there for 6 to 8 months and not bring in a high end quarterback instead of say Mac Jones. Like they must have been after Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you think
It's
they're gonna
not.
dump him?
No, I don't. I think I think you asked me about
Come
Jeff and about
come
Bill there
halfway.
now. Like,
Okay. I was
yeah.
gonna say like come mid season you think they're gonna want to change.
No,
They're gonna want to push through.
I don't think they will now. I think
He
I
had
think
54 pass attempts today, Mac Jones.
mm,
That's a lot.
it is a lot. I think the thing is like yeah, you have to go back to 2020. And look, you're always going to come into a poison chalice whenever Brady goes. But to bring in Cam Newton and then bring in Mac Jones would never have that answer at that position. I think for somebody as legendary as their head coach, I think you have to ask questions along the lines of, what's the long term play here, lads? Like, what are you doing here? That being said, look, yes, 54 pass attempts, 3 touchdowns in the day, and on a different day, like we were talking about, like red zone being nuts at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
different day, they would have won that game 27-25, and we'd all be sitting there going, Jesus, the Eagles are
Well,
bad, boys.
isn't that the Patriots way? Isn't that the Patriots way to start off slow like that? They go down 16-0 to look like trash, and then they slowly come back and they work their way back into the game, and then they actually do it. They actually get the ball back with about 3.5 minutes left, and then yeah, they run the clock down to the Belichick way, run it down to about a minute, maybe even less. So you don't want to score too quick. You score 27-25. Defense makes one stop, game
Mm.
over. That would be the way to go. That's the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick way. But now we're dealing with the Mac Jones, Bill Belichick way. So yeah, I don't know. I was impressed with the Eagles, but then it looked like
Rusty.
yeah, like when Jalen Hurts is the man, he is the absolute man. He really is. But when he starts doing stuff like that in the fourth quarter, you're kind of like, oh god, this is This is no, don't do this with Bill Belichick. So I don't know, but they got away with it. Maybe it's the wake up call they need. I know Devontae Smith at one point was being like triple teamed, so they like Patriots obviously did their homework and knew that he was their big danger man. So um yeah, it was a weird one. It was, if you were a betting man, you were probably pulling your hair out. You'd have bet in that game. You're probably going nuts.
The three strands that I have left in my hair. I will say before we swiftly move on here, I shouldn't be saying this because it's not right, but I'm gonna say it. I'd love to know what you because we haven't talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Romo was dicey in that today. Now this is the guy that was getting a lot of flack in the off season for lack of trying or not being as energetic or as good at his job last season.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't buying it today. There was that was it Kendrick Bourne at the end where he was like, did he have 2 feet in Jim? And it's like, mate, like I'm 4,500 miles away, and I can tell you straight up, like he didn't have the 2 feet in, like, and they wear contact lenses, and I'm wrecked. But you know, just yeah, like it was a wee bit. He seemed a wee bit off. So hopefully Tony, because I would do
Lazy, do you
anything
think?
to interview Jim Nance. So like I like the CBS. So like I just feel like Tony's checked out. I shouldn't be saying that, but I do feel like it a wee bit.
Well, he was electric when he began. Do you remember he would call plays three
He was
seconds
nuts.
before the play ran every single time, every single team, and people are like, oh yeah, this is why you left Dallas because you get to just do this, you don't have to play, and they're paying you tons of money. Like this is cushy. So maybe he thinks it's not a challenge, Michael. Maybe he thinks it's not hard enough. So he's just kind of like, oh, I getting paid. Everything's merry. Whatever. Yeah, he had his 2 feet in. Yeah, sure he did. Yeah, why not? I don't
Look,
know. I don't know. Do you know? But I know if you sit in the same position and you're followed by a lot of yes men and you're getting a lot of praise and that's all you are,
yeah.
laziness creeps in. Creeps in the back door before you even notice it, and that's that. So who knows?
Let's you talked about wheeling, hashtag wheeling Wednesdays. Is that even a thing? But
It
it
is
might be
now.
at some point. Well, yeah, yeah. Hashtag wheeling Wednesdays. Let's talk about the Packers. Um, got to see a good bit of that game, and like talking about both teams here, Connor. First time since 1992 that a quarterback other than Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers played as a quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. And Jordan Love walks in the Soldier Field on a day where, if you look at the significance of it, the Bears fans were frothing at the mouth, ready for the kill, ready to
Mhm.
go. This is our division now. This is our time. This is our moment. We're going to kill
That
the
is the
Packers.
general Chicago population, though. Just so everyone knows.
And I'm going to publicly say for the Bears fans on this podcast, hello, Kajay Tattoo, and also my favorite city in America by a country mile is Chi-Town.
Amazing fans. Amazing fans. Bill Murray's a Chicago fan.
Um, but Jordan Love goes in, and it's like, wow, like you knew to see just the precision,
Mm.
the decision making. He's been sitting like a wee child watching his teacher for the last 2 or 3 years in the classroom, and he's went in and he's made it his own. And it's the same story again for Chicago. Like they scored 20 points. Take that away. It was 38-14, basically, in terms of outside of the fourth quarter. Packers look comfortable, I guess, in terms of like, people giving them flack. Conor down through the last few weeks. Um, you're looking at a situation where Luke Musgrave, Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs had over 100 yards on the day in terms of receiving, and Aaron Jones, Boston. I think they're going to win the NFC North. They were the fourth favorite 3 weeks ago. I think
Mm.
they'll win the NFC North, and I don't know about Detroit, but that's a whole different conversation. But Chicago, I mean, do you think this is Justin Fields last year if this doesn't work out now?
I don't think it should be because I don't know if he has. I don't know if he has a ton around him yet. I don't know if he's getting brilliant protection. I don't know if he has like legit weapons around him. Like I just like maybe I'm a bit biased because I did watch him a good bit at Ohio State, and he was just unreal. Now Ohio State's quarterback depth is always like amazing. They always have like almost three starters all the time. Like QB one, two, and three are always amazing. Like remember a few years ago, Cardell Jones was like their third string, and he stepped into like the national championship game, won national championship and passed for something like 350 yards. It was unbelievable. And Justin Fields comes from that. And I remember watching him and I was like, this guy can do anything. And I thought Chicago, good team to go to because at the time they really weren't going anywhere. They're kind of on a bit of a rebuild. And I'm like, this is good. So not a whole lot of pressure on him. And he's just going to coast by and he's going to kind of go to learn. But what I see is if Aaron Rodgers is the Alex Smith of Green Bay Packers, then Jordan Love is potentially the Patrick Mahomes. I have been a massive, massive believer in please, please, please do not start your rookie quarterback immediately unless he's Joe Burrow. Um, do not start your rookie quarterback immediately. Let him sit, let him get into it, let him get used to the speed, let him get used to the physicality, let him get used to the way the game is played. It's much different in college football. You're treated much different than a college football athlete. You're a professional athlete. So the reason why I think that is, Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. And everyone was kind of like, from what I remember, everyone's kind of like, not forgetting about Patrick Mahomes, but kind of forgetting about Patrick Mahomes when he was sitting on the bench behind him. Alex Smith went down that horrific injury. And then Patrick Mahomes comes down and everyone's like, who the fuck is this kid? And why the fuck is he so good at football? This guy is unbelievable. He is passing left, right, and center. He can run, he can move, he can dance, he can he can do anything. He pass underarm, pass sidearm, pass regular way. Jordan Love, maybe we didn't see everything like that today, but he came in. He's been sitting behind the master, Obi-Wan, for 3 years, learning. And, it kind of came today. He looked totally calm. He looked totally relaxed. Very like what Patrick Mahomes looks like on the sideline. Very calm, very relaxed. Like water. He's like water. The famous Bruce Lee quote. He just becomes what's happening in front of him. And he's adaptable. And he played an unbelievable game. And, he's on a team with an Irishman on it. So, he has a bit of luck in his back pocket, So, so well done, Jordan Love. I did not think he would do that. But after watching him today, I literally thought, I was like, yes, you draft quarterback and don't play him. Don't play him. Let him sit behind a great quarterback like Alex Smith or like Aaron Rodgers and learn the game and have a chance to adapt and have a chance to think about it as well. Like he knew exactly that he was going to be the starting quarterback. He had a lot of time to prep for it. Packers treated him very, very well. So I was delighted to see that. And they played an amazing game, as I said beforehand, 38-20. Chicago never looked like they're going to get into the game. And that's always a tough game, no matter who you are. Soldier Field is a very tough place to play. As everyone knows, he did not make it look that way whatsoever. So, Ireland beat the All Blacks in Soldier Field for the first time in 108 years. Dalian Whelan's got his first win in Soldier Field. So, I'm not sure if Neil O'Donoghue ever won there. He probably did, but let's just say the first win there for 38 years for an Irishman as well. So that place is a lot of luck for us.
I will text him and find out. I don't know. I'll ask him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I went on a rant there, but yes, I was very.
No, like I
thought that was.
Sorry, I didn't mean to butt in. No, like I don't think it was a rant. Like I will say, like I love the passion, and just to go back onto the rugby thing there. If we win the World Cup and we kid the NFL season, the podcasts are over for a month.
Yeah, sorry about that, lads. Yeah,
it's not.
You can join us for pints though, no matter. How hard is it today? Just to get slightly off because we're kind of getting towards the end of the Sunday Night Football. How difficult was it this weekend, especially today, to stay in tune with everything? You had all those football games going on.
Hard.
You had the U.S. Open. You had Medvedev versus Djokovic. You had the Irish Open if you were a big golf fan. That was going off. You had the Rugby World Cup in Scotland versus South Africa, right in our group. 2 tough games. After then, Fiji, Wales, absolute cracker. Scotland being classic Scotland. It was unbelievable. And then right bang smack in the middle of it, Ireland versus Netherlands. But the only difference was, Michael, we didn't have Jason McAteer. So unfortunately, it couldn't happen. We only had Adam Ida. But so it was an unbelievable day to try and keep track of everything. So if you're out there and you managed it, or like let us know what you were thinking. Like what sporting event was the biggest? Obviously, football was just unbelievable. But Christ, it was hard to keep track of everything. What a day for sport. You're a sport fan? Oh my God.
difficult day for Ireland, and to have diversity and inclusiveness. And I'm being completely serious. You can see me in the video. I live in the north. Hard luck to the north as well. And shout out to I think Ross, who was telling me in the Discord chat about it. Yeah, not a great day in some cases, but a great day for the NFL. And I thought you were asking me about this directly for a start. I I thought it
I'm
was
asking
easy.
everyone. I'm asking you,
Down
and
the road,
also one more thing to add to that. Last night, Utah State, Ross Balger, the man from I hope I don't get this
leash,
wrong, Ross.
leash.
Leash. I was gonna say me, Leash. Played
It's not
played
like the
against
same
Utah
place, huh?
in front in front of 25,000 people. This Ross Balder kid, you've got to know him. He can kick off his right, kick off his left, punt or field goals. They have him punting down there. They have him rolling out. Had a very solid game again last night. Had a better game his first game. He's rolling there with the Idaho Bengals. So unfortunately, they lost against Utah. It wasn't Ross's fault. He was absolute best. So yeah, we had Ross punting last night with Idaho. Daniel Whelan punting today with the Green Bay Packers. It's a it's a brilliant day to be an Irish football fan. Not a great day to be an Irish football fan if you call it the same name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right, we got 4 minutes, and we're ending this call and some of the football starts because your boy got to edit and your boy got to get some sleep
You
at
got it.
about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna watch the whole Giants Cowboys game. Um, two elements. First off, isn't it funny how everyone can be so down on a team and everyone can be so high on a team and everyone can jump on a bandwagon like the Seattle Seahawks last season, and Matthew Stafford goes out and shuts them up. Tutu Atwell, the run. I haven't even got the guy's name. The running back for the Rams, Kyron Williams, and is it
Yeah,
Puka, the wide receiver? Man,
yeah.
what a
Puka
performance
Nakua.
by the Rams! And I'll double joint this just in terms of if you want to sort of respond to both at the one time. Um, what a bad result for the Denver Broncos. Having a home game against the Raiders where you expect to see Russell Wilson come back, two passing touchdowns on a day, but only 177 yards. And, sweet mother of mercy, the lovely looking Jimmy Garoppolo goes in, does the job, gets out alive. I think Jacoby Myers is heavily concussed. As a Broncos fan, am I surprised? No.
Well, if you remember from podcast last week, I think one of the championship games I did call was the Raiders, and they're kind of a sneaky good team. Jimmy Garoppolo is a sneaky good quarterback, although extremely handsome. He's the Brad Pitt of football. He's just a gorgeous looking man. But they did it. I'm not a big fan of the Broncos. I think Russell Wilson was at his best 5 years ago. They have one of the best head coaches in the league, but a head coach can only do so much with certain players. And I just feel the Broncos are a little bit disjointed. Little bit disjointed. They have a great kicker too. They got Will Lutz, trade firm from Saints, but they're just a little bit disjointed in what they were doing, what they're prepping to do. I think putting a lot of pressure on Russell. Please be brilliant. Please be your usual self. I don't know. Just don't have a ton of faith in them. Now, I'll say this, and I'll come around. They'll be unbelievable this season. Who knows? I do like the Raiders, though. I thought they played excellent. And then the Rams, all I heard from the Rams all last week was, yeah, Matthew Stafford's too old. Yeah, Matthew Stafford's too old. Yeah, isn't his shoulder bit hurting? Yeah, I mean, well, we watched him in training camp, we watched him this, we watched him that. He says his shoulder, is 85% good, so maybe, but yeah, I'm not sure. 30-13 against the Seahawks, not a bother, Matt. Well done. Love Stafford. Always thought he was a great quarterback. Probably stayed too long in the Lions, but now the Lions are killing it. But yeah, great for him. And they were down a couple of injuries too. So yeah, the Rams will definitely be one to look out for as well. Rams and the Raiders maybe.
And like, I'm not sure if you've seen the video of Geno Smith shouting, "Oh my God," when Aaron Donald was running towards him. It's quite funny if you
Oh
type in Geno
yeah,
Smith. Oh
yeah.
my God.
I saw it on Twitter. Yeah.
Rolling into Monday morning, like, oh my God.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Let's just leave it on this. Why should the Rams trade away Aaron Donald? They're screwed financially anyway. Just keep him there.
Wait.
He'll win you a few games.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly would. I don't see anything wrong with what they've done today. I mean, if you looked at that Rams game, um, Seahawks kind of looked a bit dangerous, but the Rams were just they just outplayed them. They just beat them. So why wouldn't you just keep everything in play? everything as it is. Like that which is in motion tends to stay in motion. I think that's a law of physics. So let's keep things in motion. Let's keep things as they are. That's how I would do it. I mean, don't mess with the soup.
Don't mess with the soup. I'm gonna get a t-shirt with that on it. Let's make a fool of ourselves to end this podcast and say this. It's 1:20 a.m. Who's gonna win Sunday Night Football? Because the time this goes out is already over. I'm gonna say the Cowboys wreck the New York Football Giants in MetLife Stadium because Daniel Jones is not worth his kiss. What do you reckon?
Sorry, did you say I thought I heard you say Dak Prescott, right? Is that it? Dak Prescott wasn't worth his.
No, I would be concerned.
No. I think you said Dak Prescott. Yeah.
I said, like, look, a historic world class franchise like the New York Football Giants, who have had Eli Manning as their quarterback, many different players, superb players on their roster. Daniel Jones is not of the standard.
Brilliant punter. Yep. I would agree with you. I thought it was a very surprising draft when they brought him in. Not to go back that far, but
never mind paying him as a lot last season. Like they paid him 170 million in the offseason.
I know, and they've been so patient with him, and he's kind of got the size, and he looks like a guy where he'll make movements. If you cut his highlights together, you'd be like, this guy might be the best quarterback in the league. He's strong, he's quite fast, he can make passes, he can stay in the pocket for a long time. I don't really see it with him, but the weapons he's got around him, like Quad Barkley, that's enough for me. That's enough to kind of be dangerous. I think they've got a good team this year. If you're talking about guys getting paid, like Dak Prescott is getting paid way too much money in my mind, to be with the Cowboys, which is actually, the most expensive franchise in the history of sports. I think they're worth about, whatever, $6 billion. I don't think the Cowboys have it with him. I don't trust them. I watch a game and I don't feel like, I'm very comfortable with this. This will be fine. I never feel that way. The Giants, I always feel like there could be a chance. I think the Giants have this weird off-season momentum, kind of like what the Lions had coming from last season. So, because they weren't expected to make the playoffs last year, and they did, and they did decent. So, I'm definitely going with a Giants win. But yeah, you've got two quarterbacks. I guess neither of us are big fans of. But yeah, I would go with the Giants for Sunday Night Football. I'd go with the money line on them. I think Cowboys are favorite. I'd go with the money line. That would be my bet. And I did call the Lions on Thursday. Told you to go with the money line plus 235. The big upset for Kansas City. Put that on. You've got $335 in your bank account. So just go another 100 on the Giants. Happy days. And please use bet 888.
Idiot sport, but yes, bet responsibly. And can I say, folks, if you have the ability to invent a time machine, go back in time and take his advice. That was it for us. I've enjoyed this, but big thanks to yourself, to Michaela. We'll be back next week, baby, as Eamon Dumpy says.
Real quick, Michael. Monday Night Football. Who you got? Because we're not going to talk. Bills and Jets. Massive game. Two of the best quarterbacks.
Aaron Rodgers is going to completely turn it on Monday Night Football. And there'll be more on that with Jeffrey Aloysius Reinbold Monday Night Live on YouTube podcast shortly after. Jeff's going to Balfirsta, to Dublin, to Derry, or Foyle, if you'd like to call it that, Cork, and Limerick. My wife is going to divorce me. The tickets are on sale now. Dublin's almost sold out. Cork's going like wildfire. I don't know what's going on down in Cork with Jeff. Happy that people love it. So we'll take it and run.
Cork people love football, my man. You got to get down to Cork.
I went down.
I'm a Cork man, by the way, so obviously I'm biased, but it is the best county in Ireland. Yeah, I would take Giants and Jets. Why not? New York double. MetLife Stadium, baby. Let's go.
Jets minus 7.5. Okay, it's been great crack. Folks, appreciate your support. Conor, thank you also, mate. And I will chat to you soon.
Thank you, Michael. Get some sleep in 4 hours time.
I was then.